the breaking down of fights, this is what I've picked up from you as well. I mean, where did you pick this sort of skill up of breaking down fights, breaking down fighters? You're known for your fight predictions as well. Um, how did that all come about? I mean, is this an extensive amount of study? Is it because you've been watching boxing for so many years?
You know what, man? You gotta remember that I gambled a lot on boxing even before I got into this. So I've been watching boxing and being around boxing my whole life. My grandfather was born in 1931. So he saw
All the greats.
Sugar Ray Robinson live. He saw Joe Louis live. He had friends that were older than him. And I would sit on his step and we would talk about like guys like Ike Williams. I knew who Ike Williams was before I knew Abraham Lincoln was.
Wow.
Like I knew like we sat around and we talked about a lot of different skills, how you do things like this. And like I would like be fighting with my cousins and the little kids outside, and they would show me how to catch and parry and things like that. So I always had a vast knowledge of boxing. Like even as a kid, I was good at predicting fights. Like I would have all my buddies over who they weren't into boxing like me. They played basketball and football. But when it would be a big boxing match come on, like I would have all my buddies over and we would watch all the pay-per-view fights at my house and I would tell them who was going to win. And as you get older, obviously your eyes get better, and then the more experience you are around the game, you do. But I always was good at that. I always could break down fights. I always was just good at just like observing a human being and knowing what he's good at and what he's bad at and looking at different things. And from the streets, you kind of know, who's a fraud, who's not a fraud, who's tough, who acts like they're tough. You can kind of just pick up on different things about different people. So I just think it just comes from just various different things, but my ability to retain information and watch things and know, and like when I pick up on certain things, I never forget them. I think that's what it really comes from.
Yeah, it sounds like the coach is the perfect role for yourself, isn't it? I mean, people ask me, how do you study fights? And sometimes I've just said to them, go read the Breadman's mailbag. There's been times I've read it for hours or more, just searching through them all one after another, because you pick up so much information from them which you can apply. Lots of gems in there. Okay, so sticking with your mailbag and your all-round boxing knowledge. So these things you've mentioned about street smarts and other stuff. Do you read books on mindset? Or pick up body language? To cover this all-round knowledge you've got. Was there other areas you sort of focused on?
I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, man. So and I didn't grow up in a nice neighborhood. I grew up in a place where it was a tough neighborhood. I went to a high school with 3,500 kids in the same school of all different races and religions. So it's a lot of things you got to pick up on. Like playing basketball. Like it's been times where I went to different neighborhoods and played basketball and they threatened to kill me from having good games. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. They threatened to kill me when I get off the court. And so I'm so used to things like that where it may sound like I'm over embellishing, but it's not really a big deal to me. I'm just used to it. I'm used to walking down the street like, oh shit, that guy over there, man, he probably got a gun. He gonna try to rob us. I'm used to being in those kind of situations throughout my childhood. So it's probably not a good thing, but it helped me later on in my life because my children won't have this knowledge because they didn't grow up like me. But I grew up in a place where you had to have that to be able to survive. I grew up in a I didn't know my neighborhood was bad until I got older and made money. I was like, damn, man, I grew up around all of this. I didn't even know it. It was just part of life. It was part of life. I would walk up on a corner. My best friend loved basketball like I did. We would get up 7 o'clock in the morning to go play basketball, and there would be a bunch of drug addicts walking around. And we didn't care. We just wanted to go play basketball. So it's just how it is. I can't really explain it, but I guess I had the ability to apply different things that I learned where a lot of guys, they just know these things, but they can't apply it to any part of their life to make their life better.